I wonder if you can kind of tell us about those early projects.
Yeah, and that was all of that was kind of sort of coming up simultaneously, right, along with AI search and so forth. So what what sparked this for me was the all of a sudden we have tools that transcribe recorded speech, and they do a pretty good job. Knowledge architecture built that into synthesis. So any of the videos that we post there have a transcript, and you can like, that's cool. And Teams does this, and that technology became available. And I don't know, somewhere the idea came to me like, I could take that transcript and then use that to write intranet content. And actually, I could have my friend ChatGPT write the intranet content, and I can kind of, be the director of that. And so out of that came this pipeline that I've sort of iterated, over time of get expert talking, record it, transcribe it. Those basically are effortless at this point. And then go and run with it and, use AI to mine it, right? Whether it's analyzing it for patterns, whether it's crafting a summary or content, end use content from it, whatever. This is this pattern that I just do kind of all the time now. And that was right around when it was born. And so, the two examples, Chris, that you mentioned are two different experts in our firm. One's my partner, Darcy, from who leads our one of our offices, Southern California. And she actually, I think this is where this really kind of landed for me as like the aha. She was lamenting like, I have something to share. And it was about the politics of healthcare construction in California, a very niche thing, but kind of a deep topic. And she's like, I know I should share this on BiscuitNet. I'm never going to find the time. I just don't have the time. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think in that moment, I was like, I have an idea. How about you and I have a conversation, and I'm going to send you a draft, right? All I need to do, Darcy, is get you for a half an hour, because it's the writing is the part that sucks. If you're an expert in X, as long as X is not equal to writing, if you're an expert in healthcare architecture, probably you're not great at writing. Experts at writing are great at writing. You know who else is great at writing? Large language models.
It might even be hard for an expert in writing to write about writing, though.
That's probably true. Yeah. Yeah. And that that hypothesis that, hey, if I can get the writing out of the equation for the expert, and really all I need from the expert is talk to me. Which is a thing they tend to enjoy doing.
Yes, I was going to pipe in with that.
We love to talk about what we know.
Yeah.
We're good at it because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's just a source of pleasure, right? It's the writing is the painful part. So that's a thing I've now, that sort of, pipeline is something I do, just kind of standard operating procedure, the knowledge that all of us, experts hold, when it's at rest, it's unreachable. If you can get it out in the air, and like literally in the air in the form of wave vibrations that a thing like a microphone can pick up, then you can do amazing things with it.
Well, they hate writing, but I think the other thing, Todd, that I've seen you do is they also don't know what they know. And so you've been pretty good at asking them kind of big, simple questions or following up or like, wait a minute, hold on there. What do you mean by that? And clarifying and digging for examples. And I think what I've seen you produce is a thing that they probably maybe not have been able to write on their own because they wouldn't have access, just top of memory to some of those things. Like they would be much more buried, right?
I think that's it. And, talking about, the run up to this meeting with Darcy where I wound up interviewing her. I even, we sort of had like, well, what are the points you want to cover? And I said, okay, well, cool. I'm going to just facilitate this. and you just talk. She's like, oh, you mean I don't have to worry about kind of getting us through this to the end? I'm like, nope, I got this. And just let her just drop into her expertise and not really worry about it. And then I know enough that I can poke and prod and dig. And
then you can restructure so she can talk about it out of order and kind of meander off to a piece. And then you have the ability to kind of synthesize that. That's not too on the nose. And then and then put it back in the right order, right? Like, and then I think the part that you said, and then share a draft. So then it becomes back and forth. And she's like, actually, I missed these 3 things. Shoot,
she doesn't need to tell, or they don't need to tell a coherent story from start to finish, and we're just going to write it down for them. It's like just pop the cap and let it fizz out. As long as we catch it, we got it, right? Those transcripts become this precious gold mine. And it doesn't have to be pretty. Just get it. Just capture it.